Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to Phil's Recap and Review. Vikings Season 5, Episode 1, the season premiere, The Departed, Phil's Recap and Review. And I'm really fucking excited here to talk about a television show this fall. It's really an interesting thing. I'm not going to use most of the show to talk about other shows that we talk about on this channel, all to say that Vikings is back here in Season 5. And personally, just to get this right out of the way, I thought this episode was maybe even one of my favorite Vikings episodes from beginning to end. This 2 hours was exceptionally awesome. It set up something that I worried about going into the season, but now having seen it, like worried about the loss of Ragnar, and it's still, you feel Ragnar's loss. Travis is an amazing actor, but it doesn't feel like it has to focus or stay in one spot too long. So the pacing of this episode was one of the best paced episodes of Vikings I've ever seen. And how we saw a little bit here, a little bit there, just enough amount of action, just enough amount of backstory. The sets and the visuals just keep fucking getting better. All the actors that play Ragnar's sons seem to have gotten better, especially Ivar. I think the actor that plays him is really embracing this character. It's almost like a slasher villain from the 80s at times. And I just have to say, in general, just to start off the bat, I am hugely fucking impressed with this episode of Vikings. I was not sure what to expect without Ragnar, and I had a fucking great time. And I'm not alone to talk about this episode of Vikings. Also, I have with me, of course, the live motherfucking chat and Joe Dirty Locks. How you doing tonight, Joe?
Hey, I'm doing great. I agree with pretty much everything you had to say, only I think I feel I miss Ragnar quite a bit more than you.
Okay, fair enough. And I definitely miss Ragnar too. There was just enough in this episode to keep me excited for what was going on. Oh, we got gray area in the live motherfucking chat. Lots of love to gray area. We got Mike, Freddie, Timo, Lady Jen, Lady Wolferton of House of Wolf. Sorry, I'm just screwing up your name. I'm so excited about this episode of Vikings. I can hardly contain myself. I definitely did miss Ragnar, but I am happy about where the show's going from this point on, because you can't, as I'll talk about here, as some people might be tuning into our Vikings cast for the first time, this isn't really necessarily, we're going to be like, oh, this is so true to history, so true to that. We are going to have some guests come in that are going to be able to open up that a little bit more. And we always love when people in the live chat or in the comment section tell us, anything to do with any of the historical accounts of these situations, or the tales or the fables of what happened in this situation. We're more looking at it as a television series, and it's a television series going into a very interesting place. Unlike some other shows it would be like Sons of Anarchy, which I'm not talking about whether it's a good enough show or not, with Jax dying after season 4. And spoiler alert, Jax doesn't die after season 4. Jax dies after season 4, and the show needs to continue. Are there enough great personalities to continue this show? Is it character driven? And I think they did a good job of separating the character as much and now looking at it as the complete situation, Joe. And that's what I really liked about this episode, even though I definitely miss Ragnar. It's hard not to.
Ragnar was the focal point of the show, right? And now they have the 4 kids, the weird king, and the king, whoever kidnapper guy there, I can't remember his name, and then they got the queen. So they have so many more storylines. It opens up the show a lot more. You have a lot more different personality and character to try to carry the show now than you did for the first 2 seasons, when it relied so heavily on Ragnar in his story, that we're going to get a lot more story for our buck here, so there's that aspect of it. I'm still holding out hope. This was, as far as I'm concerned, this was a good enough episode where it shows to me that the season can be compelling enough without Ragnar.
No, good point, Joe. And I know we were definitely worried about that. Oh, I missed your beautiful words on the screen, Freddie. Great to see you, everybody. Great to see Ian. Great to see Felicia Grayer, all of our great friends in the live motherfucking chat right now. It's awesome. And I agree, Joe. It like I was saying, it opens up the focus a little bit. And I think for 95% of the Ragnar Vikings, I think the focus directly in making sure there was always like as much direct focus on Ragnar worked. I think the only thing I'll complain about with it, and it was something that we complained a lot about, especially in season 3 and the beginning half of season 4, it's an embarrassment of riches. Ragnar, the actor, Travis Fimmel on this show, is so engaging that even if there's other interesting things happening,
I want
it back on Ragnar. Now that he's gone and that storyline's done, it makes me a little bit more palatable for all these other storylines. And as people know that know any of the history, his sons have like even more is known about his sons than known directly about him. There's a lot of material to mine and keep going here, especially with Bjorn and Ivar and Ubi and
we get a new character. We get the new character, the bishop there.
Bishop Heahmund or Heahmund or whatever the fuck his name is. I'm just going to call him Bishop for tonight. Some of the new characters, I might not know their name. It seems like he's going to be a focus character. We didn't get to see him actually kick ass in this episode, but we did get hints of everything he's going to be. I'm not familiar with this actor. I know people that watch the Tudors. Yeah, will be familiar with him.
Which is what Superman comes from, too. Superman was in...
Henry Cavill?
Yep.
Is that a good show, Joe? Should I be watching that?
The Tudors was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. As the seasons got later on, towards the end, it wasn't as good, but it still held up throughout its run.
Cool. So it is a show I should check out, especially if I enjoy his performance, because he didn't have a lot to necessarily do in this episode other than show how much he hates the pagans and make sure at every possible time he said, like, fuck, I'm going to fuck up some Vikings.
And was creepy around any female that was nearby.
So I think we're going to see him fuck a lot of people and kill a lot of Vikings this season.
Yeah, I hope so. He plays the king in the Tudors, and he's not like particularly a nice guy. He's a piece of shit in the Tudors, pretty much. So. Yeah,
Timo was saying it was really difficult to watch him bow down in this because he's a king on the Tudor. It was weird to see him kneel. But Aethelwulf is back in this episode. I actually liked him. He was looking very much like Robert the Bruce from Braveheart a lot in this episode. Is when he was sitting at the table, expecting to say William Wallace. So I liked him. Judith, they made sure not to show her ear. Bjorn was a very bit part in this episode. I assume that Bjorn's going to get kind of a standalone episode when we get to Bjorn's.
At least one. There'll be some back and forth, but he'll get at least one standalone episode, I'm sure.
And we get a really awesome lag at the moment that I can't wait to talk about in this episode too. But it definitely came with a price, and we can talk about some of the mistakes maybe she made in this episode. But let's get into this. Great to have this episode back. Not sure about they were doing the Vikings Live thing. I'm jealous of the Vikings Live host. But it's the show. I love the chemistry that the brothers have. They definitely feel like brothers even more now. And I think that's something we said right from the beginning when we saw them for that first time, even if it was a little off-putting to jump into that situation. I think all of these brothers, especially now that Mullet Boy's dead, they all have a very good chemistry and they all fit a specific part of Ragnar's personality. Ubi is more wanting the farmland. Hitzvik or whatever, I'm going to kill his name every time I say it, is a little bit more opportunistic. You can see he goes with the tide a little bit more often.
He's laid back.
He's laid back, and he's just
like, whatever we do, let's just do something.
Let's just do something. And he wants to watch. I think he wants to go with who's the alpha in the situation and be like, okay, you're leading the way, I'll go with you. So he can kind of be blameless.
He's the sway vote.
he's the sway vote. Yeah. And Ivar's obviously like the Candy Man or some other slasher.
I just want to. Oh yeah, Ivar. Yeah. He's the slasher villain in Ragnar.
Yeah, he's the slasher villain in Ragnar that definitely wants to kill and murder and maim. And this, I gotta say, I love. I got his picture down on the screen right now. I love watching Ivar kill. And there's some actors in shows that do that kind of stuff really, really well and believable. And I know Ivar's not everyone's cup of tea on this show, but I fucking love this guy, and I love the way he plays this character. I like him so much better now. They've toned down the CG in his eyes, and he
reminds me of Bam.
What was that?
He reminds me of Bam Majera.
I like that. Man, those Norse names. I watch some Game of Thrones and South Park. Svitsvik or whatever is a go with the flow. He's cool. Obi's a softie. Ivar's just yummy, says Timo. So I just love the chemistry of the brothers. I don't know. The production team needs to get awards. I wrote in my notes right at the beginning. Like, this show looks, even now, especially now that the budget is on par with some other bigger shows, I would say that this Vikings visually looks better than almost any other show. Like, for me anyways, like, the production team, what they do, the way that they shoot these, everything's so clear. There's no, when they do things through filters, it's for dream sequences. But when we see big armies or we see ocean or we see landscapes, they film everything so crystal fucking clear. There's no sense of, it doesn't feel like CG's anywhere. It just feels like a real fucking world. And it's just a credit to the fucking production team that makes Vikings. And they literally keep getting better every fucking year. Each one of these 4 seasons, the show looks and sounds and just is prepared and brought to you better and better and better. And you would think it maybe would hit a peak, because I remember in season 3, I'm like, oh, this is the fucking best. Last season was a little bit more of projecting what season 3 did. But here, I think because they're deciding to move on without Ragnar and without their main star, they're even upping the production even more.
Dude, the Floki shit at the end, the final shots with Floki getting to the top of the mountain and the big sweeping landscape shots, the waterfall shot.
Oh, the Iceland stuff. It was just,
even though the CGI for the waterfall was a little
yeah, a little.
The rest of it, the volcano, the volcanic beach, I don't know, were those fjords or just volcanic like flats, whatever the fuck they were, whatever it was, wherever it was, most likely Iceland. Just great looking shots.
It's funny we saw that, and I talk about this a little bit later in my notes, but we had like all the stages of Joe versus the volcano with Floki in this episode.
He hasn't thrown himself in yet, though.
He hasn't thrown it, but eventually he goes to the bird. Like,
where's the orange soda?
Yeah, he needs to go find the people that drink the orange soda, and then halfway through, like,
rain cloud is getting bigger. Is that what it was?
Yeah, rain cloud. And then they cut away, and eventually comes back, and he's turned into Tom Hanks from Castaway from Joe versus the volcano, and he starts throwing the bird. He's like, Wilson, get out of here, Wilson.
No, Wilson, come back.
Wilson, come back. He was Floki totally had the Tom Hanks adventure in this episode. The Tom Hanks at sea adventure in this episode. But also, just to go a couple of strong notes before we get into our recap here, I love how streamlined this show is. There's no fucking around. There's no, like, let's make the show. And it's a credit to the show. And then sometimes I saw Justin Thomas in here early asking how much time's passed between the end of last season. I'd say a couple months. But time isn't really a thing on Vikings a lot. Sometimes we'll just skip ahead. But I like how streamlined that we hear about York, we hear about taking over the city, and then by the end of the episode, the Vikings are in York. And we're not to the point right before they're going to take York, where some shows would bring you, we're to the next step, to the Saxons trying to get back York.
It's kind of good that they did that too, because what you had this scene with the brothers and the king brother who's going back to go see Lagatha, and the three brothers,
Harold and Halfdan.
So he gets all the way back to Lagatha. That takes time to sail those ships all the way back. So it's good that they had the troops move all the way up to York and they're sacking it while that Lagatha shit's going on. It shows almost at least a little bit of chronological cohesiveness, I guess. Yeah. So, like, let's put it this way: where the hell would Bjorn be? He'd be somewhere like curving off Spain at this point,
right? Which makes sense.
Why the other outside of France, going down there, maybe meeting up with Rollo or some shit.
Which is why we didn't see him again. And Joe, it seems awkward in a show like this that we're actually paying attention to how long things take. It's weird. It's weird. Again, I don't want to use this to talk about other shows. But
it goes to show just the kind of things that the average TV viewers, what they view and what they see changes over time. There was a point in time where people wouldn't give two shits about this chronological order or how long things take, or like there was a scene even in this one where Ivar is getting a tattoo and he shoos him off. He has a conversation with his brothers, and then the tattoo guy comes back and he's tapping at his back and his hands just like flying all over the place. Both Katie and I kind of looked at each other and was like, yeah, we like that we get to see somebody doing an old world style tattoo, but oh my God, that looked awful. He's just going to have these big fucking weird dot, like it just like there was still something unauthentic about the way it looked and came off. So it's the average viewer. I'm an average viewer. I may hold an extra critical eye or whatever on some things, but I'm still an average viewer. So when I see something like that, it hurts a little bit. it didn't necessarily in this instance pull me out because everything was so good and I liked seeing it in the first place. But this show does a great job at paying attention to that kind of stuff, at least a little bit.
Yeah, 95% of that stuff, it makes a considered effort to make it as real as they possibly can. And sometimes things maybe get streamlined a little bit and yada yada to a minor extent, but they really are making the effort, and you can see them making the effort.
Right. Like, I mean, his back even looked disgusting. Like,
oh yeah, look,
like at least wipe it off.
Timo was getting excited. Timo was getting excited watching that. She's like, I think
a lot of people are getting excited watching that.
Ivar earned his way into the basement in that shot right there. We got King Alfred, yep, looking like Michael Jackson from the Dangerous Era. That's what the Alfred was looking like. I thought he was going to start going, on the park, in the beach, you and me, girl. I thought he was going to start doing that sort of shit. So, okay, so I like how the streamline the show is. It's great to be back in this era with so much going on. Fuck yeah, the show pulls no punches in the violence and the gore. Ivar's crazy as fuck, and they're showing every second of it. And that's my last general point. Then we're going to get
crown for the king.
Yeah, it was better than that. I mean, I know budget-wise that was Game of Thrones season 1, and this is Viking season 4. In television and computer shit has gone on, progressed. But I would say it looked even like much cooler than the Crown for the King.
I thought it looked pretty good. This is another one of those things. You're melting gold in a brazier, or is that just to keep it warm? Because you did bring the brazier in from somewhere, so like you're just keeping it warm from like wherever your smelting was, because it takes a lot, like we said before, to melt gold. We said
in the Game of Thrones scene, yeah.
You can't just do it in like the brazier candle. It takes a bit to do.
So let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into this recap. Okay. I want to get into talk about this episode. Enough of that. What recap stuff? Okay, so we get into the replay of last season. It's epic. I liked how History Channel hyped this shit up. This season, they really pushed Vikings, and they did like several days of Vikings. They did like a Vikings live stream where they talked to the actors and stuff. They showed the whole end of last season. They did this whole 2-hour where's Ivar and Lagertha been sort of preview to the season before the season. So they're really going all out, and you hear this music. Oh God, the theme, the opening, it's classic. And if you've been into the show for a long time, again, the intro keeps getting good. It's one about better, keeps getting good. It keeps getting better. And I fucking love this song too. I know I'm gushing. It's been a while since I've been able to be on here and be this gushy about a show, but I was fucking joyful, like hearing the theme song. I started to dance and get a little do a little dance in my seat and stuff. So it's back. We open up in a skull, and it's Sigurd's funeral, and we see Bjorn in the first scene. It's the funeral of Mullet Boy, the brother killed by Ivar, who's there but not grieving. He's just kind of sitting there like, ugh. But Ivar can kind of read the room, and he realizes that everyone's kind of pissed at him. And it's kind of a funny moment. It's almost a comical thing that you could expect to hear sitcom laughter coming in at the end of it. Like everyone, our brother, we all loved his brother. And they all turn, like everyone in the whole entire Viking village looks to Ivar and gives him a dirty look. And you just hear, oh, Ivar.
That kid was a fucking shitheel. Right? Isn't that the kid that just watched the little girl die and drown or whatever?
Oh, you mean Sigurd? Mullet Boy? Yeah, he's a douche.
Nobody cared that he died. Everybody was happy.
Fuck that dude. It's more about Ivar trying to be too powerful rather than giving a shit about that kid dying. It's if Ivar could do this to him, he could try to do this to
us.
And Freddie says, be a Viking. They said, travel the world. They said, it'd be fun. They said, laughing. We got Lady Dave. Dave, great to see you. I didn't see you pop in. Good to see you, Dave, in the live motherfucking chat.
Eric the Red.
And then we get this shit.
Not true. I didn't mean to kill him.
Yes, you did.
He made...
Hit him with a fucking axe.
Do you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of, again, the Eddie Murphy joke. It all can come back to Raw. You know, like I'm running down the street with the rock hard dick after my wife caught me in bed with someone, going, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. Oh, fuck. I made love to you. I made love to I had to do it. I didn't mean to kill him. He made me do it.
Yeah, no, not flying.
Taunted me, you made fun of me. What was I supposed to do? What kind of a man
Hit him with your fist instead of an axe.
lies about his own brother?
Yeah, sorry. You killed him. He's a dick.
Him as he walked by. I don't know.
Anything but
anything but hit him with an axe in his spine. What?
Anything but throw an axe at him. One of my cousins once threw a fork at one of my other cousins' head. I mean, he claimed it was a spoon when he threw it, and it magically turned into a fork, but it stuck in the dude's head and shit like that. I mean, you know, come on, stop bullshitting. Ivar's such a fucking bullshit artist. It's great. So he walks out, and Ubi is or basically Ivar gets out of there, and Ubi is like, listen, Bjorn, Ivar can't be the leader. And Bjorn's like, fuck you. Screw you guys. I'm going to the Mediterranean. And Halfdan's like, I'm going too. And Bjorn's like, I'm getting out of here right the fuck now. Holy fucking shit. Timo, lots of love for all the streams I missed. Be nice to Ivar, Joe. Missed you guys. Love you. Huge spin of the wheel for Timo. Timo, thank you so much for the $50 super chat donation. Thanks to anyone that donates super chat or is our patron or any of the support. Hope you guys enjoyed Joe's interview in the last patron cast. We'll have another one for you next month. So thank you to all of our supporters, especially Timo, who is extremely amazing to us. Lots of love to Timo. You get 5 spins of the wheel throughout the evening, or I'll just drink my drink really, really fast for you, because I know you just wanted to land on drink every single fucking time. So here we go, Timo. You're the fucking best. So we go to Harold Fine here, and he says, listen, are you going to go back to Kattegat, Bjorn? And Lagertha to tell you, Lagertha, and Bjorn's like, no, why don't you go tell my family?
I want my riches, yo.
Yeah, tell them I'll be back.
I want more riches for my bitches before I go see them.
It actually ended up on tell him I'm thinking of you. He doesn't even say tell them I love you or tell them. He's just like, tell them I'm thinking of them right now. You know?
I can't wait to go the opposite direction.
Yeah, exactly. I care so much about my family. I'm not even telling you to show them love. I like how they're real Vikings. He's just like, yeah, tell them I'm thinking about them. Fucking A. So I'm drinking. Here we go. One drink for Timo. Motherfucker, Timo, Lord Protector of the fucking streams. Spin again. So then we go off to Wessex, and we meet our new bishop guy, who is looking for revenge on the Vikings. He hates the Vikings, and he's gonna fuck the Vikings up.
Did this? If King Aethelwulf's body is here, let us find it.
Whatever. I can yada his scenes, because it's scene number 1 that he really fucking hates Vikings. Then we go off to Bjorn and Halfdan and Harold, heading off to different places, and the brother Finehairs have a moment where they talk, and it's a good scene between the two of them. They've definitely grown on me as characters. I didn't like them when they first showed up. I like them a lot in this episode. I like this scene that they had, and basically, I like how Finehair or Halfdan is basically like, listen, Harold, I know you have this whole wannabe king thing going on, and I don't want to get into a whole Rollo Ragnar problem here where I'm sitting there hoping my brother dies so I become ruler. I gotta go figure out my own thing.
My dream isn't to be the king's brਦਰ. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
And I don't really want to be king, because that will open up a problem between you and me. So I just want to dance.
Oh, Bishop JRM or Bishop King Henry? Bishop JRM. I'm sorry. We'll call him. If I'm referring to the bishop, I'm talking about JRM. I'll call that other dude dead, soon to be dead guy. Soon to be dead guy.
No, I think he's going to be around for a while.
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah, fucking JRM.
King Henry
or Heahmund or whatever his name is. So then we go back to Bishop JRM, who's looking through the Viking wreckage. He just looks angry and ready to...
Where's the king?
Yeah, they find the king in the water and in a barrel. And the bishop is... he's a warrior bishop. He's based off...
All the bishops were. They the bishops and the cardinals, they wear red because, that's their blood that they'll spill for Jesus and shit. Like, they're pretty serious, especially.
So these guys are sort of like these guys are sort of the precursor to the Knights Templar, is what I've said before.
They're the warriors of Jesus, man. They're the bishops. They'll raise troops. They'll fight for Jesus. They'll fight for the church. I think when they get cardinal, they actually get the red in their outfit, but like they want that. That represents not Jesus's blood. That's like the blood they'll spill, or their blood, or some shit. Like, the Catholics back then, they weren't no joke. There's a reason why once they started to taste that power, they took it. They went for it. They took it. They were not, holy pious people that you think of what holy pious means today.
As Duke Chronic says,
different church, completely different church.
As Duke Chronic says, they're the Blues Brothers. We're on a mission from Gad. We're on a mission from Gad here. And Timo, you landed on, for your second spin, you landed on both take a shots. I don't have shots, so I'll take a big sip of my beer. Thank you again, Timo, so much for your super chat donation. It means so fucking much. Great to see Felicia in there too. And great to see everyone in the live chat. We got Big E in the live fucking chat. Great to see all of our friends joining us tonight for this Vikings live stream. Thank you to everybody. If anyone wants to get a voicemail in that we'll take at the end of the show, you can get that in at 781-990-8509. And make sure you also join Joe and I this Sunday for The Walking Dead. And I can't wait to talk to Joe about that on Sunday. So then we see Ivar practicing, and he's gonna go at first I thought he was practicing, but he's actually heading towards on his chariot, which is fucking awesome. I love Ivar in his chariot. I love the chariot cam that we get later in the episode. Going to see Floki, and Floki's making his one-man boat, and Ivar's really upset that Floki's gonna leave because Floki's Ivar's only friend. Fuck.
There's nothing left for me here.
But Floki wants to go.
This world no longer interests me.
I need to go to Westworld.
Myself to the tides and the winds and the will of the gods. Come what may.
So do you expect a big story for Floki this season, or do you think now that he's in Iceland or wherever he is that we won't see him for a while?
No, he'll end up going home, I think. Either that we'll see him again at least a couple times, either trying to live there or preparing to go back to get more people to come there.
And
one or the other.
Oh, Timo, you got
stories of the beautiful place that he found. Asgard.
Timo, the next one was Bite of a Sandwich. I agree. I think we're going to check in. And I keep joking about the Westworld thing, but I assume he did have some commitments that worked against some of the filming on Vikings, and he's not probably not going to be in the season quite as much since he's added to the Westworld cast. But I could just be making that up.
I think you're right about that. He's part of the old guard for this Vikings cast. Think about what we start with in season 1 and the characters that we start with. All we have left now is Rollo, Lagertha, and Floki.
Yep.
All the rest
Bjorn,
of the people that were Bjorn wasn't. Well, Bjorn was season 1, but not this actor. Remember?
Right. So I guess the character of Bjorn half counts.
Half counts, right? I mean, Bjorn became a character on his own when he finally goes off and fights the bear and raids with his dad. That's when Bjorn actually becomes a character, a Viking, right? So, we have only those few people left, so they're trying to, they have all these other stories. We added King Henry, Bishop King Henry. We have the Fine Hair brothers that are going to do their thing. One's going with Bjorn. Then you got the 3 brothers that are off the Great Army. There's so much going on that I
hope I'm wrong, and I hope we're wrong, and I think in that it isn't. I think we're going to see Floki as much as we see Rollo. Like, we'll check in with him once in a while, but the ultimate narrative of the story is more going to be the bishop and the brothers.
Unless Rollo is being picked up by Bjorn. I got a feeling that they're not going to remove Rollo at this point yet as well.
No, they're going to keep, because he has a lot more to do in his story too.
Yeah, he's a pretty big deal in France there.
In history, yes.
He
becomes a pretty big deal. And I don't see them abandoning that storyline, because that actor brings a lot of weight, and keeping him interested by preceding that story keeps him involved to want to be on the show. And he's one of their bigger name actors. And I have a feeling Rollo is going to be on the show till the very end, to like the bitter end of the show.
I'm sure most of there's a lot of people that are very, very happy that he would be on till the end. I want to see him on to the end.
Yeah, me too. So we go back in the boat, and
I want Ragnar back too. God damn it.
We'll see him a couple of times, I bet. Back in the boat, and Bjorn laughs, and they're off. Ubi watches Bjorn go. So next we go to Eckbert's funeral with more of the bishop, with Heahmund, with his intro stuff. Love the production value of the show, top notch. We see a survivor who survived the Viking situation, and this is where it gets a little interesting, that we get it spelled out very easy. Even if you didn't see last season, you get King what was his name, Eckbert. You could get King Eckbert's entire plan from last season in the first few minutes or the way that it's explained here. Basically, that he announced being king, gave king to Aethelwulf, whatever his name is, and promised the Vikings all the land, but wasn't king at the time he promised the land. So that's all the bishop needs to hear. And he's like, he has a really awesome line here where he's like, the king is dead, long live the king, about the new king. We're on to it. So then we get to see what's been up with Aethelwulf, and we see they're in hiding in some weird fucking piece of shit cottage down by the
They're living in the fucking bogs. They're in the
bogs
land. Oh my god! No wonder your child's sick. Are you kidding me? Look where you're living. Everything's wet. Why is everything? I fucking hate it here. Everything is always fucking wet and muddy in this goddamn fucking house. Live in a fucking mud shack 3 feet above the floodplain. Oh, what a miserable place to fucking live. Cold and wet constantly.
It's awful. And they're like, why is Alfred sick? We're eating dung shit. I mean, why is he sick?
Where are you getting your fresh water from? I'm sure you're just like throwing your shit in pit. Like, oh, just throw it in the fucking bog.
Yeah, Justin Thomas.
Why are you down there? Get me a glass of water.
Justin Thomas says, yeah, they're in the Welsh marshes. Oh my god, that's tough. Try to say that 5 times. Welsh marshes. Welsh marshes. Thank you.
Living in the Welsh marshes.
Welsh marshes. I have enough trouble pronouncing Joe's name. Forget anything that's hard. Listen, Joe, what's going on here? It's Applewolf, Phil. I'm sorry, Timo. Thank you for correcting me. Ivar is fucking amazing. Says Duke Chronic. Bjorn is supposed to be Bjorn the Explorer. So then we see some leech stuff happening as we see the king and crew hiding. We see Alfred. He looks bad. I mean, like I said, Michael Jackson bad. And Applewolf is talking to Judith, and she's not looking too good either. And Alfred's not looking great at all. Him and Judith talk some shit about how he holds to his faith, and all this needs to mean something, and she needs an explanation. It's got to be the gods. And she's like, oh, enough with the fucking gods, you fucking asshole. So then we go back to Floki saying more goodbyes as he gets his bird and his shit and all of his toys, and he gets in his one-man boat and says, screw you guys, I'm going to the gas.
I'm going home.
I'm going home to the gas. Screw you guys, I'm going to gas. And
once they start cheering Floki, he starts paddling as hard as he's like, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, fuck this. This is embarrassing me. You can stop it, you guys. And then I love how each one of his sons, it's like a Wizard of the Oz ending. Goodbye, Ubu. And
I miss you most of all, too, Boneless.
Yeah, I'll miss you most of all, Boneless. Hey, you stole my joke, Joe. And then he's like, you're the best builder of all. You're loved by the gods. And I'll miss you most of all, Boneless. And Ivar's like, you knock-kneed fool. You're a coward. You're running away. And he's like, stand up, you douche. And say that to my face. I love it. I fucking love the two of them. I hope, I don't care how it happens, I hope they interact again. As much as, again, I love Ragnar, I love Floki with everybody. Floki in this actor, the actor that plays Floki in this actor, have a extra chemistry that when they start ragging on each other back and forth, there's some magic that's happening. And some people are just better at ragging on each other, and it's just really funny. And the two of them work really well off each other. And they smile, and Ivar's a sad puppy. Then Ivar gave him some way to guide himself so he doesn't get lost, and they all laugh. And then as Floki's sailing off like a celebrity, they're all going, "All hail Floki, all hail Floki." And as you said, he starts rowing faster and faster. He's like, "Get me the fuck out of here." And I agree with what Dude Chronic said. I was going to have a good night, Freddie. Thank you so much for checking on in. Love you, buddy. Take care. And Ubi or Ubo, whatever. Like, I'm not sure exactly what the pronunciation of his name is, but he does look the most like Ragnar. Especially this season, he's really looking a lot like Ragnar to me.
Yeah.
So anyways, we get the bishop who wants to fuck up the heathens. He's like, "Listen, I'm going to fuck up some heathens." And it's not just the usual talking bullshit. This guy, like, I'll not like these kind of things where they just kind of keep introducing a scene to show you that this guy's a badass without telling you he's a badass without showing you he's a badass. But they did both. And it was the things he didn't do the way, and I'm not familiar with this actor. I know people watch the Tudors. They're familiar with him. They understand what kind of guy this is. And he's supposedly, from what I've read from interviews with Michael Hurst, who cast him, they cast him for his unpredictability, for like a lot of weird things, that for him just being like an exciting actor of some sorts. And
I haven't. Okay. So as far as this actor goes, he was in From Paris with Love with John Travolta, which was a cute movie. It was his first foray out of the Tudors. It didn't do too well. I liked the movie, but it's been done. I haven't seen much range or much or anything that's really wowed me from him. Unlike the co-host from the Tudors, Cavill, who I think does a great job in the Superman role. But
that's an argument for a different day.
Right. That is definitely an argument for a different day. And then there's the fact that on top of he hasn't really wowed me, he hasn't turned me off, and I'm not ready to settle on him being a one-trick pony. So far, what I've seen from this character, very limited from this character in Vikings, it's going to mirror a little bit of the Tudors' craziness expressed slightly different.
I think that's what he want that's what I was saying before. They want him to be crazy. And what I saw in this episode, from not being familiar with any of his work, Jen says he was in Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy as well, is that he had controlled chaos. Like, without doing anything, I saw crazy in his eyes. And I saw that he probably can go fucking nutsoid and play that emotion well. And if that's what they want from him, I'm very excited to see what comes out of him, because in this episode it was more like he was, and I mean this in a active, like he was trying to do this, like holding that down a little bit, and you could just see it in the rage in his face. And that was what I was saying. They kept saying how much he hated Vikings and this, but you could see like when he's cutting up his food and shit like that, like they definitely showed the potential for out of control nature with him.
Right. But that's basically Henry VIII's character. Just they're going to express it a little bit different. It's going to come off a little bit more, religious zealoty shit instead of I hate the church and I'm going to start my own church. Shit. Whatever. But ultimately you think and I haven't watched the show, but you think it's going to be a similar kind of character. I think it's going to be a very similar kind of character. I think it's going to come off very similar. Just like I said, expressed slightly different. And it wasn't necessarily bad when I watched it in the Tudors. I'm still excited to see what he's going to offer the show. Yeah, I mean, I'm just rewatching Nip Tuck right now, and I know this is random Nip Tuck, but Julian Moore played the same character in Buffy that he did in Nip Tuck, and both roles were fucking awesome. There you go. Essentially, some people can play that same character in a show, or I'd say Julian's a little bit more the other Nip Tuck guy is in a show that I watch with Katie called Longmire. He shows up in a couple of seasons. Interesting. We'll talk about that a different day. That'll be a different review coming up soon. Anyway, so
So, okay, so it's a bishop. He wants to fuck up some heathens. So then he meets some girls, and you can see he's eye-fucking the girls, too. So Ubi has a plan to make a permanent... Then we see a good scene, a very good scene, one of my favorite scenes of the episodes, that with the brothers having a discussion about what they want to do with the lands that's theirs.
Let's farm it.
They have the resources to make a permanent settlement.
So Ubi wants to make a permanent settlement and sort of farm and go down that route. Your pick on your fourth spin, Timo. The last one was take a bite of a sandwich, which I did, so I assume you want me to drink, so I will take another drink and you get one more spin. Thank you again, Timo, for the amazing super chat. So Ubi wants to make a permanent settlement. Ivar's like, yeah, that's a pretty decent plan, but why don't we make it by the coast instead of inland so we can always get our boats so we can raid anywhere we want? It's actually a very reasonable plan. And he says, let's go to this stronghold in York that might seem like we're rescinding and not taking quite as much, but we'll use it as a stronghold. We'll build it up and protect it, and will be our big stronghold in the area, and we can always bring more ships in and more people and go in and out, and we can get best of both worlds. So let's do it. And what's his name, and his brother Hitzak or whatever agrees with him and sides with him, and Ubi's a little pissed off, but he goes with it because like you said, Joe, it's a good plan. And we got Peter Griffin in the live motherfucking chat. Great to see you, Peter Griffin. So then we see Floki again doing his Beth Joe's versus the volcano thing over the water as he finds the compass and he throws it overboard. And he goes, where I'm going, I don't need any roads.
We don't need a stinking compass.
So then we go back into the bishop again, and it's time for sexual time, maybe? And I said, no. And he's just like, will you be my dirty girl? And he has a sort of creepy scene with a girl. So next we hear we see some dude in the shadows. This is the scene I wasn't sure what happened. Right after the scene while he was doing some dirty stuff, was this guy outside like punishing himself for having fun?
Yep. I think he had dirty thoughts about her putting something else in her mouth, not necessarily the body and blood of Christ. And so he decided to crawl through the fucking the thorns and all that shit and get himself all cut. A different form of self-flagellation, I guess. But, he needed to pay for his sins, and he has no one to confess to there, so he'll just do that instead.
Timo says, when he said Neil, I had dirty thoughts. Well, maybe not.
Most people probably had dirty thoughts.
Peter Griffin wants to know if this is Phil's. No. This is the creepy guy that hides in Phil's basement that he lets out sometime when he decides to shave. So, so the next scene we see, we go bump, 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 the Super Ragnar brothers. And one of the Super Ragnar brothers eats a mushroom and gets big. No, excuse me. Ubi says, why don't we... Right away, they're snap over to York, and they're like spying out the situation. And Ivar's like, let's just attack. And now that we see where the three of the brothers together work very well together when they want to work together, because as we were talking about earlier in the show, each one of them has a different side of Ragnar's mind. So Ubi thinking about things his father has done in the past, and this parallels a lot of situations, like 2 or 3 Ragnar situations gets paralleled in this scene where they come into the church, like in season 1, and when they go in on a holiday, whatever. So he says, my dad always went in on holidays, so that's the dad's plan. We should do that. And Ivar's like, I guess you're right.
3 days to wait with an army outside of a city as big as York is a long time to keep your army hidden
in stealth. Yeah, I thought about that as well. And wouldn't the scout? They have to kill off the scouts.
Campfires alone, people should be able to see something going on. Like, I would imagine. But hey, the fuck do I know?
So we see 2 boys in the water, and the Vikings whistle over and yell at them. These boys come from the Walking Dead School of Thought, and if you hear anything in the woods, you go after it. And they go and they get captured, and Ubi comes out, and he goes, uh-oh, here comes Ivar, who slithers out there like a fucking snake to scare the fuck out of the kids.
Time like a snake. Oh my god, purposely so like a serpent.
Yeah, totally serpent.
Even after he's done like petting him on the head, he slithers away like a snake. Katie made that exact comment, Phil, like looking out the top of his, and they do a good job with it, with the camera angle.
Yes,
like, the looking out the top of his eyes, the expression on his face. Yeah.
And he's just like coming through, makes eye contact with them, giving them the Mel eyeballs as he's coming through the woods. I'm gonna get you, you pretty,
My pretties.
and your little fucking
Hey, you little boneless too.
Yeah,
I mean, wait, I'm boneless.
yeah, boneless. Exactly. I was gonna say little boneless too, as well, but it didn't make sense. And your little dog too. Okay, fine. And so they're pissing themselves, and he speaks to them in their language and asks them when their next Christian day is, or whatever it is, their saint day. And he's 3 days. Okay, 3 days. Thanks, kids. There you go. Easy peasy, lemon breezy, just like Rudy. And he says thank you, and he slithers off like a snake. So then we come in, and it's an amazing shot of York at the 46-minute mark, time for fucking battle. And it's an attack as Ubu gets his strike force and makes it in pretty easy. And they climb up the door, lose a couple of men, and open the front door for Ivar and the crew. And he opens the door looking all raggy while he does it, like opens the door. I'm Ragnar, bitches, come on in. And Ubi opens the door. And then this is fucking awesome. Ivar comes raging through, and Hitzvok is like on the fucking thing with him. And they put a camera that's totally not CG. It looks so fucking good, where they just strap a camera to Ivar's thing, and they probably rolled it in at normal speed and then sped up the film, so it just looks like he's like rolling through it fucking fast pace and shit.
It didn't look like that. It didn't look like they did a film speed up to me. It really looked like
they did it naturally.
They had him do a good trot through there. It was good.
It looked Joe. It looked fucking great. And then Hitzvok jumps off, and then Ivar's a badass, just running around laughing and having fun. Ubi gets the Ragnar mannerisms down. The actor love the camera on the chariot as they all line up with few casualties, and they hear the prayers as they come in, and almost mimic the season 1 scene where they come into the room of people praying.
So York is a big city, right?
Joe, you talk. I'll be right back. Go.
I found it kind of odd that there was so few people in this church. That could not possibly be the only church in this place to accommodate all the people. So I was thinking there had to be a few others, but their prayers, none of them heard like the yelling and screaming and just the attack in general. But you got to imagine that, they didn't have the mega cathedrals to fit hundreds and hundreds of people. So there's probably quite a few churches or smaller parishes around this area.
Were you saying that it was a little awkward that sorry, I had to get another beer. That all the people in the city were in the huge city were all piled into like one area?
Yeah, I mean, there would be one bigger church, but there would also probably be a few smaller ones scattered about to accommodate. Just the whole York seemed small to me. This is supposed to be one of the bigger cities on the island at the time.
Fair. I was just
north.
I was distracted by loving seeing another massacre scene like this again, seeing the replay of the scene. I very much enjoyed it.
Yeah, it felt a little awkward to me. It felt small in scope.
Fair point. So they come into the room of people praying, and Ivar is killing everybody, and none gets dragged down, but Ubi shows a little bit of restraint, and again, the gentle side of Ragnar as he like lays her down as she's dying, and Ivar's just going around killing everybody, and they eventually just assess the survivors. We hear babies crying as they bring in some fire, and Ivar brands the priest and is laughing as he just fucking gives him a mouth for a king. This is the Crown for the King scene where he pours the fucking.
He gives him a new grill.
Yep, he gives him a new grill. He's like, so is that guy? Does he kill it? I mean, he's dead, right?
Yeah, boiling gold down your throat. What's he breathing through? It's just gonna like burn. This is what happens. It basically boils and cauterizes everything it touches all at once, all the way through the back of your fucking head.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, sounds good.
Oh baby,
my throat's cold.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
yeah, touch us both.
And hot, gold. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a gold.
Melted Velveeta.
They have like golden they have like $89 golden blunt wraps you can buy. Like what the fuck would you fucking want to do that for? But anyways,
Fumes are dangerous.
And it says it's with real gold, but I guess it's like smokable gold. I don't know. I'm not trying it. So anyways,
Smokable gold.
I'm with Timo. I enjoyed this scene way too much. So we come back into the city and we get back in. They're all celebrating their victory of York and toasting the brothers, even to the one you killed. And he's like, "Can we just be friends, dude?" Hitzog's like, "Guys, can we just be friends?" And Ubi's like, "I don't know." So then we go back to Kattegat and we see some training and fighting, and it's Bjorn's son, and she's training with not Bjorn's son, fucking Jarl Borg's son, and Torvi's training with him, but Bjorn's stepson, I guess, and he's a strong guy, and we get some training with them. So then we get Harold Fineair coming back into Kattegat, and he says his army's won. King Egbbert's dead, Ailey's dead, and Lagertha asks about Bjorn, and she says he's dead too. But this gets a little weird here, okay? I like some of the things that happen, but I'm upset that Lagertha just didn't kill him on sight.
Right? Makes no sense.
It doesn't make sense.
She wants to torture him. She wants to get a little.
No, I think the get a little part was to.
That wasn't just getting a little. That was she was dominating.
Yeah, that was a power. That was showing him that she was stronger than him. Showing him it was like a dog mounting you sort of situation.
She raped him.
She power raped him. Got her nut off and said, "Fuck you, bitch." Great Lagertha moment. Classic Lagertha moment there. So Harold comes in and really yada yada this stuff a little bit. He talks shit, says about how Bjorn's where he is. And she's like, "Why'd you come here? I found your little spy. You're fucked." And he just keeps talking shit. And he persists. And she drops a sword, throws him into prison. So we go off to Floki again, who has gone from Joe versus the Volcano to Castaway as he's tried to blow on his sail to move the boat. He starts rowing again, and no more shit happens. We go back to Bishop Dude, who's slicing up some dinner with his sword to show you he's a badass. His number one says they're in York. We should head there right now. So we go to Lagertha, who didn't kill him, and he's in chains. She gives him a little bit of water. She's like, "What do you want?" He explains the situation, that he wanted to be king because of a girl. That girl's dead now and was playing him the whole time, so he doesn't really want to be king anymore. And she says, "What do you want?" And he ultimately says, "I want to be your ally, protect Kattegat for you. It's weak right now, and I want to be your husband." She says, "Husband? Husband, huh? Yeah, I don't want to be your fucking husband. Fuck you. I don't need that fucking bullshit." And then out of nowhere, she pulls out a knife, cuts his pants off, fucking fucks him till she gets off, then looks at him, laughs at him, fucking shames him, and fucking walks out of there like, "Yeah, bitch, you fucking suck." What she should have done right after that,
cut his throat, ear to ear.
Cut his throat. I appreciate everything she did in that situation to show the power and all of that, but right in that moment, she should have said, and with the knife she had in her hands, fucked him, smiled in his face, gotten her nut off, and then fucking cut his fucking throat.
Because here's the thing, she even says it later. She says he's coming back with an army at some point to try to take this place. Just when, we don't know. Which was always the case if you let him go. So you can't let him go, or you're going to marry him like you're just saying you're not going to.
Because she's considering it, because we know from the future scene that she actually for a moment thinks, that's what he wants. We should like try to use his army to protect us somehow.
Right. So she should have just slit his throat ear to ear right then and there. His army then basically becomes the brothers' army, who probably could give two shits less, so to get absorbed by Bjorn's and the three brothers' armies. Like, the best play there is to murder this guy and kill the 3 boats worth of men that came ashore with him.
Yep. And I appreciate the situation, and she should have either that, or people in the chat, Timo and Aaron are, "Hey, Aaron, great to see you," are saying that they thought she was going to cut his dick off. Yeah. And that would have been appropriate too. She did do the dick drop already. So yeah. But I just would have liked to see her top that scene off with slitting his throat. Excuse me.
Would have been
appropriate.
Yep.
So then we go to York and we cut to Ubi, who wants to
while she was raping him. She didn't finish and do
like
it.
Right as she comes, she like cuts his neck, like literally end the moment, like like neck cut right there. That would have been fucking
bathed in the blood of the fucking victim.
And she just laughs about it and starts to spray out. I love Lagatha, don't get me wrong. I just think she was being a little too tricksy here with her planning.
Fucking Mindhunter on them motherfuckers.
Right. She tried to get a little bit too tricky on here, and she was like, she wanted to keep him and probably abuse him for a couple months and shit like that before she killed him, and probably should have just killed him first. They have to make her make some mistakes, and this is probably one of the first ones. She might have cut it off if the service was bad, says K Rich. You guys are worse than me, says Steve-O. Ivar put me in the mood. Whacked it right off. I love you guys a lot. Live motherfucking chat. You guys are amazing.
Kept it, stuffed it, and brought it back to the brought it back with her.
Cold-hearted. So then we go to York. We cut to Ubi, who wants to talk to Ivar, some big lug that looks like Bull from Night Courts there. He's like, you can't talk to him unless you got a pass.
Who the fuck you talking to, dude? Who the fuck? Dude, I'll cut your tongue out. Then let's see you tell me that I can't talk to him. Fucking bastard. Get away from me.
Yeah, shut the fuck up, you motherfucker. So then he comes over and he's like, Ivar, what the fuck's going on here? And this is the scene you were talking about where Ivar is getting a tattoo and getting shit worked on. At first I was like, what the fuck's going on? And basically the other two brothers are like, listen, Ivar, we got to be equals. It's not just you as a leader. And Ivar knows how to play his brothers. He's just playing all shucksy.
But I'm a cripple.
And I just need to do the half the thing. You know, I need to do your Ivar, Joe.
I don't.
Good job, Joe. Joe, by the way,
put me on the spot like that.
No, just to let you know, I wanted to set you up that it got requested and got added to the wheel that one spot is Joe does an impression of the character of the person's choice. So,
Jesus. Okay.
So we got one more spin of the wheel for Timo and Aaron. Huge thank you.
Leave an impression, that's for sure.
Aaron, you'll get a spin. Timo gets one last spin for her donation. Then Aaron gets a spin afterwards. Thank you so much for the super chat donations tonight. You guys seriously are so fucking amazing. It's so important right now. So super chat drink. Timo, for your last one, you got a drink. Of course you did. Mm-hmm. And Aaron, this one's for you. Thank you, Aaron. So why do you need bodyguards? And basically in the end of this scene, did it just land on Phil drinks again? It totally just did. And basically they tell him that a Saxon force is on their way. So then we get to Lagatha, to her command crew, who asks what's going on, and Geordie LaForge is like, listen, the lithium crystals, Captain. I know I did a Scotty voice with Geordie, but whatever, you get my point. So Lagatha's with her command crew that are talking about what she should do, and basically Astrid is saying, you got to kill him. You got to kill this fucking guy, and Astrid's right. And someone else is like, you kill him, and then it's a back and forth scene that they have, but ultimately Lagatha plays a little bit of rank, and Astrid runs out of there all pissed off. And as she's walking out, a bunch of guys kind of grab her and surround her, throw a bag over her head, put her in a boat, and Harold Finehair is free at this point. We didn't see him be released, but we hear in a future scene that his guards busted him out of the cell and killed a bunch of guys, and Harold is free, and he's like, Ro, get the fuck out of here. So then we see Lagatha with the horns as her guards come out, and Astrid's gone. Harold's gone. She starts to figure out everything really quick. We go over to Astrid on the boat, and Harold unties her and says, listen, I want you to marry me and be my queen and go against Lagatha and tell me where she's weak and join up. And she basically, through this whole episode, he asks her a couple different times. She maybe with her eyes abandons it a little bit, but she ultimately keeps saying that she's loyal to Lagatha. Joe, will she eventually end up turning on Lagatha?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's coming.
Didn't she go fuck the other queen too or something?
No, she fucked Bjorn, I believe.
Okay, that's the one.
Oh gosh. I'm drunk. Thank you, Aaron. So, and Timo for your super chat donations. They're getting me a little extra buzz tonight. So basically he's going to take Kattegat and he needs to take it back. And so then we get Bishop Heahmund or whatever his name is, and we go north, and the dude is this is what I wanted to say. We get his guy, his number one guy, who let me play this sound clip because at least in the live watch, I thought this guy sounded like Davos to me. he sounded a little bit like, I'm no big city lawyer, but I think Aethelwulf might be coming or something like that. I forget exactly what he says, but let's see.
They are an industrious people.
They're pagans.
There it is. Oh, wait, no, wrong one.
They are an industrious people.
They're pagans and devils, nothing more. Go on.
The town is well defended. Begging your pardon, but
that's what it was. I'm begging your pardon, because he says I'm begging your pardon. It's sort of a Davos line. He goes, I'm begging your pardon, Lord, but my hands.
People.
They're pagans and devils, nothing more. Go on.
The town is well defended.
I'm
begging your pardon, but your grace may not yet be strong enough to attack.
I'm no big city lawyer, Stennis, but your grace might not be powerful enough to make another attempt.
I have every hope of success. It is a pity the new king is not here with us.
It's a
His
pity.
presence in the field might encourage new recruits. Unlike his father, he has some credit as a warrior.
So this ultimately sets up a series of events that ultimately leads to Aethelwulf. We go over to Alfred, who's looking shitty, and the queen is eating some shit, and she's like, what do we do about Alfred? And Aethelwulf is basically like, why does it always have to be Alfred? This is such a ridiculous line. It's such a true line. What the fuck? Why do you always have to talk about Alfred? Aaron, shots for Phil and Joe. Joe does not have alcohol right now, so I guess I need to take extra drink for Joe.
Yep. I will guzzle some more coffee for you.
Oh, good. At least that will keep you awake. And thank you so much, Aaron, for the super chat donations. Thank you to Timo, Aaron. You guys are fucking amazing, and everyone that's tuning into this video at any point in time. If you're watching this later,
and hey, I will. Sorry.
Oh no. I was just gonna say, if you're watching this, leave a comment and tell us what you thought of this episode of Vikings.
And I'll guarantee I'll have booze with me on Sunday.
Oh, for The Walking Dead, Joe's gonna get a little drunk on Sunday for his last Walking Dead recap of 2017. So here we go.
And I'll get you then.
Yeah, Joe will owe you a shot for that evening, Aaron. Remind his ass of it. So we get to gotta be starting something. Alfred's gotta be starting something. Ooh. So Alfred,
can we just drown our dying child in the bog?
I did the worst joke in the world here, Joe, in my notes. I'm even like afraid to say it. Like, let me move over to the sitcom laughter thing. Or wait, the drum beat. Where's the fucking horrible drum sound? So I can fucking here we go. Then we go over to Alfred, who's looking shitty and not that great. he's definitely looking not great.
Oh no!
Oh shit! It's horrible. Oh god! It's the worst joke of all time.
Bad pun intended.
It's the worst joke of all. Ladies and gentlemen, this joke is brought to you by. This joke is brought to you by. Shit Buddies. No, this joke is brought to you by Amazon. If you're thinking about doing your Amazon shopping, make sure you check out our Amazon link. That's right, Amazon shop, Fill the Issues Guy. Yeah, just start your shopping with that link. It's like pennies in a jar. Oh, baby, touch me in the right place. I like the Vikings. Oh, Ivar, I'll lick your stub. Oh, baby. Ooh. Okay, enough of that. So, everybody, thank you so much. So I'm starting to like the new soundboard. Okay, so Alfred's looking all shitty, and he's like, what do we do about Alfred? Don't talk about Alfred. And then we look at Alfred. He's not there. He's walking away in the water. And this is where I said for the first time, he's looked like Michael Jackson.
We get some applesauce sighting.
He needs some. We see an applesauce sighting. Exactly. And Alfred Jackson sees applesauce. He reaches out to applesauce, falls in the water. Judith and Aethelwulf run after him and grab him. They hope he's alive. Are you okay? And he ends up being okay. And CPR isn't invented yet, so they can just sit there and pray for him to be okay. And they just sit there, and he coughs up some water, and he's okay. And he says, we need to go to York. My father has had a vision to me. Applesauce has spoken, Joe.
Yep.
Applesauce is fucking spoken. It exists. Ah, sorry. So, okay, I got to do one more drink for Erin for her super chat donation. You guys are amazing. So we go off to Floki and Katie Crow hanging out. And Floki's like, listen, Katie Crow, you get a job. You need to go walk some dogs. Get the fuck out of here, you motherfucker. Sends Katie Crow off to go walk some dogs. And they tell the god, Floki's like, listen, gods, fuck you, dudes. You guys, we're turning Floki into Carmen.
Why me, gods?
You guys,
I love you.
You guys, fucking suck. You guys,
I
fucking.
always love the gods.
You guys, fucking suck. So Floki or Cartman he's just like, this fucking shit sucks. And so then we see Athelstan and his group riding as he's giddy with his forces to meet up and have his role in this fight. We go off to Lagatha, who's trying to put her pieces together, and she's like, I'm not sure if I did the right thing. And then we go back over to Harold Finehair, who's with Astrid, and is like, are you going to join me, be my queen, or what, dude? And she's like, never. I'll never join you. So then we head back off to the bishop and all of his men, and Aethelwulf's men they're all meeting up, and they're all happy to see each other. Did you think, Joe, that for a moment the bishop was unhappy to see him because he's no longer in command?
No. Bishop wants him there.
Because there was a moment where he looked almost slightly unsure about it. To me, anyways. I thought I sensed something where there was a moment of tension before he finally was like, okay, Your Majesty, I'm so happy to have you here.
I think he's sizing him up a little bit.
Good point. He's
got his wife with him.
That he's gonna fuck at some point.
Well, possible, but there's he's sizing him up. He is, like he says earlier in the episode. You even quoted him there when you played the soundbite. I think he says, he's a warrior. He's got some warrior in his own right, unlike his father, because his father would always send him in to go lead the battles. Because if he died, big deal. My son died. I'm still here.
And he has a little Jemadar in him, and he respects him for for being a warrior and actually leading men into battle, and not just being a manipulator of pieces on a chessboard.
Right. So I think he's sizing him up a little. He wants to know what he thinks. This guy's already come up with plans for trying to take back York. So not necessarily that he's not going to be in charge, but he's, you got to know that this is the first time they've met. So you got to try to feel him out, and
he has to be apprehensive.
Apprehensive.
He has to be a little apprehensive. So sorry, I'm in a bad place right now, Joe. I'm in a horrible place of horrible jokes and just the right amount of alcohol. It's fucking horrible. It's a horrible situation.
I wish I was with you, Phil.
Sunday, Joe. Sunday. Sunday.
We'll
do a little.
Fuck fam.
Okay, I'll shut the fuck up.
I think I want some tequila Sunday.
Ooh, I like it.
That 1800 was so the clear 1800.
That's gonna be fun. Make sure everybody you get ready to get Joe drunk on Sunday night. That's always the best. So we go to Aethelwulf, who meets the bishop. He looks pissed, but he kneels and says, "Thanks. I've heard you're awesome. I've heard you're awesome too." Judith is still hiding her ear in a very, very clever ways, and Judith has a dog in this fight too. She says, "I want to kill all these pagan assholes too." So now it's dinner time with Alfred and the bishop. Exactly, killed my daddy.
They killed all my daddies, my daddy and my sugar daddy.
So it's dinner time with Alfred and the bishop, and Bishop wants to talk to Alfred. He's like, "Oh, you met the Pope. You had a good time. What the fuck's going on?" And he says, "Yes, my father brought me there. It was a really good time." And it just goes back and forth between them at a dinner table. So then we see Floki again singing in the rain. And then eventually Floki wakes up somewhere where the soil is wet. The mountains are high. He lays down, looks at the place, drinks some water out of a puddle. And he looks to a bird that led him here maybe. He starts a fire, gets the heat going.
The wind blew him. He was unconscious when he
Right. No, he was unconscious. The wind brought him here. So he starts a fire, gets naked to heat up. We go off to some cool music as he's climbing a mountain. I think he is in Iceland, and I know that from reading some of the preseason press and knowing some of history here. So he's definitely in Iceland. It is supposed to be Iceland, and I think this was filmed in Iceland as well. So he eats some bugs or some seeds and some shit, and he looks how high he's climbed, and I started to get anxiety just from looking how high he was climbing. And he's like Lincoln, Breath of the Wild. And he's so high, and he's running out of stamina, and he's about to fall down the whole way. But the boat looks so teeny, and it's time for sleep. So close up on Floki as he looks, and everything's just fucking beautiful.
Dude,
Iceland looks...
volcano is amazing.
Yeah, everything just looks so incredible in this whole scene. And he thanks the gods, and he does the Eddie Murphy from Coming to America. I am very happy to be here. And then we go back into Kattegat with Torvi watching her son train with someone who knows a little bit more about fighting, and talking to her. I don't even know who this person is.
Yeah, no. She should have turned around and stabbed her right through the fucking neck and said, how's that Philagath's grip on power, you fucking cunt? By not doing anything, by not opening up her fucking mouth, she only kind of proves this other girl right. Because the more dissent that you allow to be sown, the more dissent gets sown. So you fucking cut that shit out right then and there. You want to speak those words? I'll cut your fucking your voice box out. And
You're going to say Adam's apple. Maybe.
And then you won't be able to say shit. Are you fucking kidding me? No. Yeah. No. We ain't talking.
I agree. This is a spy or someone that's going to turn on you rather easily in this.
I think we've met her. I think she was someone's fucking wife or baby mama, some shit like that, or maybe she came with all the rest of the shield maidens.
Is she Ubi's wife? Maybe. I don't know. I honestly was not familiar with her.
Was she the slave girl that was getting passed around?
Yeah, was that her?
All three brothers there?
Yeah, was that her?
Maybe. I don't know.
So I'd have to rewatch.
No, I think that chick. No, am I thinking of Bjorn's other wife?
I'm blanking on last season a lot. Anyways, so we go back. We're almost done with the episode here. So we go back to Floki, who is walking there and eventually just falls down, and he's at a waterfall. To him, it must be the greatest thing in the universe. I was just thinking,
he's at a water rise.
I don't know what the fuck was going on.
That shit was going backwards, dude.
It was going backwards. My whole thing about that, though, just in general. Maybe
in that fucking moss, man, he was tripping big time.
If you never really seen a waterfall like that, you might perceive the water going up, and maybe we're seeing things through Floki's perspective in that moment. Like, it's easy. Like, I go to see a waterfall now, and I'm impressed by it. If you're a fucking Viking Age person, you've never really seen a
strange moss that you find growing and not having eaten in days, drinking volcanic salt ash water off the fucking beach. You're tripping your fucking balls off, and you're about to die. That water can go whatever way it wants.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure I've seen water go up a couple of times too, Joe. So I'm not
backwards through the faucet.
Yeah, I'm not judging. Words are flowing out like let's rain into a paper cup. It happens, Joe. It happens. It does. Okay, thank you, Joe. Because I'm
in the land of Asgard.
Timo thought she was tripping for a moment there. No, she was dude's wife. Siggy was sleeping with that Ragnar Blood Eagle. Thank you, lady. Thank you, Jen. And welcome, Al, Red Sox fan, one of the best guys in the world. Thank you to see you. Great to have you pop in here, Al, Red Sox fan. So let's finish off this episode as we cut to Floki, who's not chasing waterfalls. Don't chase those waterfalls, Floki. So then we cut to probably my favorite soundbite I got of the entire evening, and let's get to it before we proceed from this scene, because I could hear this over and over and over again in a loop, and I forgot this, and it wouldn't be Vikings if you didn't get at least one of this moment. I'm sorry, I could just hear Floki laugh forever. He has a Joker kind of laugh where he actually could be a really good joke. Now they've heard him do that laugh right there, and he's done it before, but really letting it out like that, I think this guy could play the Joker, actually. So I think maybe could he replace Jared Leto and actually be a Joker? Maybe because I could see Floki being an excellent Joker.
Yeah.
Anyways, so Joe's like, maybe. So anyways, we cut over to the Sons of Ivar training, and we basically see Ivar getting crutches or leg braces and a crutch so he can walk upright. And the end of the episode is Ivar being all happy and his brothers being scared because Ivar is walking.
I wanted a nice little golf clap, or like a slow clap or a golf clap to happen from the audience when he got up and walked across to his brothers.
Or Steve Martin coming out from he can walk. He's walking. He's walking now. Donate. The Lord Jesus is so powerful. He's got himself his own 800 phone number. Donate right now.
My Lieutenant Ivar, you got legs.
Lieutenant Ivar, you got legs. I just got my sea legs. Ubi. Well, you don't got no legs, Lieutenant Ivar. So, and that is our episode of Vikings. I'm very excited Vikings is back. For Vikings, I would give this, like a 9 out of 10 for an awesome episode of Vikings. Great fucking shit.
2-hour season premiere. That's
how you do it.
Great way to do it. We had some good action. It wasn't particularly violent or bloody action. I mean, it was violent and it was bloody, but it wasn't like overdone. There was good story set up. We checked in with almost all of our main characters. Sans Rollo, I guess, would be the one we didn't check in with. We get a new character along with that. This 2-hour premiere was well worth it. This was done very well. Bravo.
Yeah, great fucking episode. Can't wait till fucking next week. And Timo was asking about the episode count. We're going to get 10 episodes in this half. I believe this counted as episode 1 and 2. Yeah. So I think we're getting 8 more episodes, 2 more months of Vikings episodes now. And then...
sweet. So what does that bring us to, like, February?
No, I think it would bring us to, let me get a calendar out. Where's
4 weeks of December, 4 weeks of January?
Right. Let me get a calendar. So we got...
Bring us to the Super Bowl?
We got the 7th next week. That will be episode 3, episode 3, episode 4, episode 5, episode 6, episode 7. Yes. I mean, it's going to bring us into January, but I assume... just because all shows do, that we're going to get a couple of episodes and they're going to take a break over Christmas and New Year's week, but I hope not.
Right. So I'm hoping that brings us right up to the Super Bowl.
And then sometime later in 2018, we're going to get 10 more episodes. This season is going to be a total of 20 episodes, as well as season 6 has been confirmed and already starting production on. So we're getting a season 5 and season 6, which will be another 20 episodes. So and then I believe the series is probably going to end at that point, but we will see. So there's at least going to be there's a lot more Vikings to go.
Think we're going to have any Ragnar flashback, Ragnar appearances?
I think eventually. I don't think this season, maybe next season.
They got to make it stand on its own. They got to start making it stand without
exactly. But I definitely think before it's all said and done, I'd be extremely surprised if Travis doesn't make at least one more appearance on the show.
Ghost appearance or something.
Yeah, ghost appearance or something like that. So there's lots more Vikings to come, lots more Viking recaps and podcasts. Just to let you know about how Vikings is going to work on this channel. We might not be on every week right after the episode airs. Some weeks we will be, some weeks we won't. Some weeks we'll be on maybe the next day or sometime later in the week. Some weeks we may be doing a live commentary and watch the episode. Joe might come by here and we're going to sit down and watch the episode and do a live commentary. Vikings is one of those shows we kind of like to experiment with a lot of different ways to covering it. Also to maybe have some guests joining us for one-off Viking episodes, either at season breaks or after certain episodes at midweek points. I can say that we're going to try to get both King McKay and I definitely can say that Nick Hodges from History Buffs will be joining us at least on one episode, and hopefully Joe will be able to join us as well. So the three of us would do that because I'd love to have Nick and Joe to be able to talk about history, since Joe is a little bit more understood. Joe's the historically smart one of our podcasting team here in this situation. So it's going to be awesome to have Nick on, and
not so well defined sense, but broad sense.
Right. Like you could talk with Nick where I'd just be going like, yeah. You could actually like have something to add to the conversation.
I don't know what dates shit happened, but I know that shit happened.
But basically it was just going to be awesome to have Nick on to like bullshit about Vikings, get his thoughts, some of the behind the scenes stuff that he saw while he was working on the Vikings podcast out there. He's got a little bit of some inside information he can share with us about what the sets were like and some other stuff like that. So definitely have Nick on at some point in between one of the episodes of this season, and then whether it be the second half or not, also definitely would love to have King McKay on one of these casts as well, to pop on in at least for a little bit to share some of his thoughts of Vikings as well. So everyone, thank you to everyone in the live motherfucking chat for joining us. Aaron and Timo, you two especially, go giant fucking hugs for both of you guys for the super chat donations and helping me get a little extra drunky this evening. And to everyone else, Antovia Major, Duke Chronic, Lady Wolverton, Jen, lots of love to you. Lots of love to Uncle D in the live motherfucking chat right now. I saw Justin Thomas earlier, saw a lot of other people earlier. K Rich is in there, and a bunch of other people jumping on in throughout the way. Ian and Al, Red Sox fan, and all of our friends, or anyone that has checked out this video after the fact, definitely share your thoughts in the comment section, what you thought of this season opener of Vikings and what we missed. Give us a little historical content, keep the discussion going, and you can also leave us voicemails at 781-990-8509 so we can play on our next shows to talk more about Vikings. Or if you are outside the country and you want to add me on Skype at I Got Issues Man, I have it set up to get voicemails that way. So I Got Issues Man on Skype, and send me, just call me and I won't answer, and leave a voicemail that way, and we can get your calls in for international people.
And I want to tell you this, please do call in, because I know you're all going to watch. A lot of you are going to rewatch these two episodes over the week, and you're going to think of things that you wanted to mention in chat or should have mentioned in
Igor.
mentioned in chat. So call up, leave a voicemail, let us know what you thought of, what we missed, what we should have talked about, what we didn't talk about, what you liked that we talked about. Just leave us a voicemaemail and check in.
And Joe, I will say it as well. We've been lonely too. This Sunday night, we'll have the call-in line back up too.
Awesome.
We're gonna have a call-in line set up on. I figured out how to do it from the studio, so we're gonna have a call-in line open on our new call-in line just to prepare people for it. For now, is going to be 315-948-8237 for tomorrow, for Sunday night, and for next week's Vikings cast. So. Everybody, thank you again so much for joining us tonight. If you haven't already and you enjoyed the show, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Join us for more fun for all season-long Vikings coverage and all the other shows that we're going to be covering. Better Call Saul's coming back soon. Finishing off The Walking Dead.
When does that come back?
Probably, I think, March-ish.
That's not soon.
You coming.
Just gave me a fucking...
Sorry. I think it's. I'm sorry. I'm fucking with you, Joe.
It's like a half a year away, dude.
Joe and I also need to come on pretty soon to do a podcast that we're going to be doing soon. That we're going to talk about two upcoming podcasts. Joe and I are going to be doing. Cheers. Yep, I'm just about finished with my rewatch of Cheers. We're going to be doing a recap of the show Cheers. As a
there's so many seasons, dude.
You've seen enough. We're gonna do it before you finish. I
wanted to at least watch first season.
Watch first season and last season.
No, I wanted to watch first season with because it's got what's her name, and then first season with Christy, and then last season.
Okay, cool. And
first season with Woody.
So sometime over the holiday break, we're going to be doing the Cheers review. It's a request for Joe's nephew, who's a listener, and it's a must. It's on my list of favorite sitcoms, and it's worth fucking doing.
He's a young teen, and he's one of his favorite shows is Cheers. He's watched all the Cheers. He's got like some amazing insights on the show.
He's got some amazing insights in Cheers. And he called Joe and I to task where he's like, guys, you do a fucking podcast about TV. Why haven't you done Cheers yet? You motherfuckers got to do some Cheers. So we're doing it. And also we will be doing at some point a cast on both. I know we're way going to be late on both shows, but we're going to do a double cast on Stranger Things and fucking The Punisher. So
Oh
my god, dude. Spoiler alert, the second to last episode, or like third to last episode of the show is the bloodiest shit I've ever seen in my fucking life, dude.
Fucking god, that show is just
fuck, dude. Okay.
I'm saving it.
We're gonna save it. It's coming. I think it's safe to say, spoiler alert, Joe and I both love the fuck out of that show. And we will also talk a little bit about Stranger Things. We know it's past people's thoughts, but we'll talk a little bit about season 2 of that as well. But that was okay. That was pretty good. But the fucking Punisher is fucking amazing.
Yep.
So everybody, thank you again so much. And as I said, if you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you to everyone in this motherfucking chat. Thank you to all the people checking out this video later. You guys are amazing. Joe and I will be back this Sunday night to talk some Walking Dead, and Joe will be a little drunky. So we'll talk to you guys soon.
Oh, ranties are going to be fun that night.
Oh, it's going to be fun. It could be a good episode, Joe.
I didn't say there would be bad rants.
Yeah, it's happening. It's all happening. It's all happening, Joe. It's all happening.